Hi everybody, it's Cathryn from In the Pink Designs. My project today is the third in my kit of 5 projects. Alrighty, I'm using the Sending Cheer bundle again for this and the Stylish Shapes dies. This box measures, goodness, I forgot, 3 3/4 by 3 1/4 by 1. Alrighty, and I did this because last year I made this box. It has a cookie cutter in it, and then I put some candy in there, and people asked me for a kit, and I wasn't doing kits yet. So now that I'm doing kits again this time, I'm going to do the same thing, but a little bit different. We don't have this little cute snowman anymore. Alright, but if you're interested in this one, if you still have the stamp set, it is on my YouTube channel. Alright, so let me open this up. Opens like this. Okay, and inside I have a Christmas tree cookie cutter. You can get these at Target. They have all different kinds, but I figured the Christmas tree was a good one. And I put in some Redbird, what are they called? They're peppermint puffs. They melt in your mouth. So that is this project. And you will get the cookie cutter and the candy and all the cardstock and ribbon that you need. Alright, so I'm going to close that again. Alright, so what we need for this project is a piece of real red cardstock that is 10 1/2 by 5 1/4. Some basic white for stamping. We need a window sheet that is 3 by 3 1/4. And what I do, I will send you all new window sheets, but what I do for my projects is I keep the stamps coverings for the photopolymer stamps, and I just hit them with some alcohol and they come out really nice, and that's what I use. Okay, so I said again, the window sheet 3 by 3 1/4. We need 5 pieces of the Traditions of St. Nick Designer Series paper. 1 that is 3 by 3 1/2. 2 that are 3/4 by 3 1/2. And 2 that are 3/4 by 3. Alrighty. And then we need this label from the Stylish Shapes dies. If you don't have that, it is about 2 3/4 by 5/8 inch. Okay. Alrighty, so let me get my Simply Scored. This here is my host code. Please put that in for any purchases on my website under $150, not including your tax and shipping. Alrighty. So we're going to start on the 10 1/2 inch side. Score at 1, 4 3/4, 5 3/4, and 9 1/2. Turn it to the 5 1/4 inch side and score at 1 and at 4 1/4. And as you can see, I'm using the little present this time. I think it's so adorable. Alright, so now I'm just going to score and burnish all of my fold and burnish all of my score lines. Okay, so we're going to start with this in the long way, this way. And what we're going to do is pretty simple. We're just going to keep the edges of the rectangles straight and wedge all of the squares. Alright, so let's start over here. Go to the first score line, cut it to the first score line, and wedge both sides of the square. Go to the next 2 score lines and cut them to the first score line, and wedge both sides of the square. Go to the next score line, cut it to the first score line, and wedge both sides of this last square on this side. Right, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Start over here again, first score line, cut it to the first score line and wedge both sides of the square. The next 2 score lines, cut it to the first score line and then wedge both sides of that square. Go to the last score line, cut it to the first score line and wedge. Okay, and this is what your cardstock's going to look like when we're first finished scoring and cutting, but we still have to do the circle. Alright, so what we need is we're going to pick a side, put this in the long way up and down. Okay, we need our piece of Traditions of St. Nick Designer Series paper that is 3 by 3.5, and we're going to put this right here. Alright, so I'm going to put it on with liquid glue. I don't want to go too heavy on the glue just because we have to cut it and I don't want it to squeeze out. I'm going to put this right like this. Get that off. Okay, and then you just wait a few, like probably 30 seconds, make sure the glue is kind of stuck in there. Alright, then we need this circle, which is from the Stylish Shapes dies. It's approximately 2.5 inches. So anything close to that is fine, die that you have. And then we're going to put it towards the top of the DSP, just so that all around these 3 sides is about even. And that leaves like maybe 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch on the bottom. And I'm going to tape this well so that it doesn't move. And I'm going to put this through my machine and I'll be right back. And I'm going to take this off. And you can save this for another project. And it's a nice sturdy one because it's got the cardstock on it. Alright. Now, that's how your cardstock will look after you're done completely cutting it. Alright, now to put this together, we're going to start over here. And I'm going to put some glue on both of these tabs. And we're going to connect the score line with the side of the rectangle next to it. Just make sure that the score line and the side of the rectangle are nice and straight. Okay, and then we're going to put glue on this next set, and we're going to attach them to the other side of the same rectangle. Okay, then we're going to go down to this last set of tabs, and we're going to attach it to the side of this next rectangle. Make sure that the score line is straight with the side of the rectangle. Okay, then what we want to do is get our window sheet that is 3 by 3.25 and just test where you want it. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of glue around the circle and then put it in. Alright. Just get that little bit that's squeaking out. Alright, and when this dries, the glue won't show up. Okay, now we have to do the rest of our Designer Series paper. We have 2 pieces that are 3/4 by 3.5 for these long sides, and 2 pieces that are 3/4 by 3 for the short sides. And I'm going to put these on with liquid glue also. Alrighty, and then you need a small circle punch. This one's 7/8, but anything around 1 inch is fine. And we're going to take a finger grip out of this piece here so that it's easier to open. And I didn't do it on my sample, so I'm going to do that one too. Alrighty. Okay, now let's put in our cookie cutter. And then I'm going to put some of the melt-away mints inside. About 5 of them fit nicely. And then I'm just going to close it. Okay, then we need, well, let's just let that dry for a while. And we'll do our stamping. All right, so we need some basic white cardstock. And again, I'm using Real Red and Mossy Meadow inks, and I'm also using some Tuxedo Black. So let's do the bottom of the present first. Great. Okay, now at this point, you can either just cut it out and also cut out, you would cut out the present and then you would cut this part off and then cut this out and put it over. So you can have either the stamped bow or the bow that you can cut out with a die. I'm going to do the stamped bow. So I'm going to use Mossy Meadow, and I'm going to shoot for the middle, but sometimes, excuse my head, there you go. And if it's too far to one side, you can take your Mossy Meadow Stampin' Blend and just kind of fill it in. All right, and then I'm going to cut this with this die. And it's pretty good. It's not hard to cut out at all. I thought I was going to have a hard time with the bow, but it's really not hard. And I'll be right back. Okay, and there you go. Looks good. All right. All right, now we need our piece of Mossy Meadow cardstock that I cut with the Stylish Shapes dies, and we're going to use Tuxedo Black ink. And I'm going to put it to the left side of the label. Great. Okay. Now we're ready. All right, so I'm going to close this up. This one's a little puffy. I think I put them in sideways last time and they go much easier. Here we go. All right, what I'm going to do is take some Real Red ribbon and I'm going to tie it around the short side at the top here, and I'm going to make a bow right about here on the top of the box. This takes about 20 inches of ribbon, maybe a little less, but there we go. I like to give you a little extra so that it's easier to retie if they want to. Alrighty. Now we're going to take our label and I'm just going to touch the bottom of that window sheet and center it in the middle, and I'm going to put it on with liquid glue. Okay, now if you don't want to see the dimensionals on the back here, you can use liquid glue for your present also, but I'm going to put dimensionals because I like a little bit of dimension on there. So I'll put one there and two on the bottom. And then I'm going to put it right, the bottom right in the middle of the label at the bottom. All right, and for the final touch, I'm going to use a sequin, and I'm going to put it right in the middle of the bow. And there you go. If you'd like to purchase this kit, after I finish the last, you can send the email to me now, but after I finish the last project, whoever has asked for a kit, I will send you a PayPal invoice. So I need your PayPal. Just email me your PayPal email and your mailing address, and I will send you an invoice. It's $40 for everything for the 5 kits except for the stamp set. You get the candy and the other contents and a half a sheet of dimensionals. Okay. Alrighty. Have a great day. Please subscribe and hit the like button, and I will see you next time. Bye.